In rural Ohio, one school tried to cure its student anxiety crisis by bringing in live horses for the children to pet and groom. We naturally want to solve complex problems by adding things. Along with the horses, that school purchased new social-emotional learning curricula and hired additional therapists to combat the distress they were seeing in their classrooms. This chart shows two diverging national trends that began around 2012. You can clearly see a rising trend line for student mental illness and self-harm, intersecting with plummeting scores on the National Assessment of Educational Progress, or NAEP. The modern educational system is looking at a generation suffering from severe overload and trying to fix it by adding even more to their cognitive load and daily schedules. There is a Polynesian expression, standing on a whale, fishing for minnows. Rather than chasing more expensive, adult-led tools, the schools seeing the biggest results are doing the opposite. They are clearing away the massive obstacles that are already right underfoot. This visualization breaks down the 77% of American public schools that claim to have banned phones. When you look closely, most policies only apply to active class time, leaving students free to hide devices. This partial model forces teachers to be hyper-vigilant. Worse, pocketed phones remain an active cognitive drain, fracturing attention before the bell rings. The alternative is a true bell-to-bell removal. At places like Mountain Middle School in Colorado, phones go into a lockable pouch or a dedicated locker before the first class starts and stay there all day. In 2023, UNESCO issued a report confirming that removing mobile phones directly curtails classroom disruption and reverses attention fragmentation. While test scores stabilize, the most visible change happens between classes. The zombie apocalypse of students scrolling in silence vanishes, replaced by a real-world community where students are forced to interact with one another again. The second major lever happens outside the building, removing the heavy hand of adult supervision from free play. In 1983, a government report called A Nation at Risk triggered a national obsession with academic rigor. To make room for more math and reading drills, schools systematically squeezed out recess, physical education, and unstructured outdoor time. Today, most playgrounds are asphalt and fixed plastic structures, but European-style adventure playgrounds, like this junk playground in New York, intentionally introduce loose building materials and physical risk. Notice the sign, "Your children are fine without advice and suggestions." We have counterintuitive evidence for this approach. At Swanson Primary School in New Zealand, the principal ran a no-rules recess experiment, where he scrapped all playground restrictions and pulled back the hovering adults. Scrapping the safety rules actually caused a massive drop in injuries, vandalism, and bullying. When students are made responsible for their own physical safety, they step up and regulate themselves. Children develop resilience and empathy organically by navigating physical play. You cannot artificially teach these vital life skills through a structured, adult-led curriculum. Both of these efforts rely on agency. To rebuild resilience, adults have to transfer trust back to children. Programs like the Let Grow project are doing this by assigning homework that mandates a student complete a real-world task entirely on their own. One highly anxious 7th-grade girl took on the assignment to stay home alone one morning and get her 5-year-old sister dressed, fed, and onto the school bus without any help. Once she watched that bus drive away, her internal identity shifted. By being trusted with a consequential task, she stopped feeling needy and finally felt needed. She built anti-fragility, the ability to grow stronger through experience. This low-cost model can be tested immediately. State governments could randomly assign schools to go completely phone-free, strictly playful, or a combination of both, to measure the impact over 2 years. Children today are living in an environment that is intensely overmanaged and utterly understimulating. They are like racehorses stuck in a stable. The most effective way to help them isn't more therapy, it's simply to open the gates.